Yo, what's the crack, lads? Welcome back. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday, lads. Genuinely. We will be just doing a short stream today. Not really going to be playing many games. We played a good few yesterday in Division 1. So today, this stream is literally just going to be about retraining my cards with the new kind of gameplay stuff that they've done. And obviously as well, the kind of changes that they've made to stats. So yesterday we discussed it. If you guys missed the stream yesterday, we did discuss and we played and we showed a lot of the gameplay yesterday was literally retraining, or not retraining, but retesting a lot of things, right? So today we're going to have a bit of a mix of everything. So welcome into everybody in the stream. Ron is in, Chris is in, PS Zach is in, Just Fax is in, Chris is in as again there, Skinny, Ali, Bass, and Royal Striker. What's up to everybody? So yeah, any questions that you guys have, I mean, I'm just going to give you my 2 cents on where I think the gameplay is at the moment. Because I think they've made a couple of like silent changes to the, I would say the meta, but the meta hasn't really changed so much, right? So you'll notice a lot of the time, right? You'll know a lot of the time that, with the squad that we have, right? This was just the events that I was doing. This is my main squad, right? So this is kind of like, there's no real improvements I can make to this apart from getting in, another couple of legends into here. We've got Cordoba on the bench, we've got Zico, we've got Ronaldo, we've got Rudiger. We've got a fairly stacked team, and literally every option is available to us on the bench, right? We've got any player that we want, any system we can change to. We can go full speed up front meta. We can go, 6-man midfield, 3-6-1 if we want to have a very technical team. But if you want to make a launch, right? If you want to make a launch on the divisions and you want to get up the divisions, you do kind of have to play a certain way, right? I don't think anyone would disagree with that, even if they don't have the best skill level, right? You will probably find that you're struggling against guys that have A, a really good team, and B, play in a very direct manner. It's very rare that you will come up against somebody that will play possession-based play style, because that's not what really works. Now, yes, you can get away with it, right? You can get away with possession play style, but you do make the game harder for yourself, right? So what they've done in the last kind of update, in my opinion, from having played, right? I've started to get a couple of good results behind me. We had a draw yesterday, but the rest of the matches that we had, we were kind of comfortable in them. We were scoring a lot of goals, but they've made the defensive awareness, I think, a little bit more dominant when you're not controlling the player, but a little bit more sluggish and unresponsive when you are controlling the player, right? So I want to know your guys' thoughts, right? And I'm going to give you my thoughts then as well, as we try and reach Division 1, right? We're not going to be playing that many games today, if we even play a few, but any players you want me to retrain, I'll do it live on stream right here, right now, because we do have the free player reset. We can retrain in multiple ways. I'll talk through different options that you have with them. But realistically, there's only a couple of rules that I usually follow with my retraining of the players. So I will do it for meta, and I will do it for, that different type of like anti-meta mixture of all styles, right? I don't play meta. Meta is playing, as I've said before, man, with this, meta is kind of something like this. Abdul, and I'm a new subs. What do you think about Monday Epics? Should I go from? I mean, I'll give you my opinion on the Monday Epics when they come, man. We have to see the levels. We have to see the levels that they're going to be having. We have to see how they'll actually play. I definitely think at the moment people are going to make a lot of mistakes with the cards. Listen, think about it logically, right? Konami know that at Christmas time, there's going to be a lot of newcomers playing the game, and there's also going to be a lot of new players that will be spinning and opening coins and getting free cards, right? On top of that, there's going to be guys that have been playing the games, veterans that have been playing the game for months and months and months, that will have trained players in a certain way, okay? And it might take a week, it might take 2 weeks, but eventually the penny will drop that the gameplay is very different in the last couple of weeks than it was before V3.2, right? So speed and aggression are extremely important now for defenders if you're controlling them. Defensive awareness when you're not controlling them. There's a lot of little tiny changes that they've made to the gameplay. So, like, whether you realize that today, you realize it next week, or you realize it in 2 weeks' time, and then they switch it up again, the gameplay has definitely changed, right? So, the first thing that we're going to look at is meta, right? So, we're going to just do a very simple meta one here. Base, welcome in. Leon, welcome in, bro. Listen, it's a lot of these players. I will retrain all of these players, man. I will retrain all of these players as best as I possibly can. But it really comes down to personal choice, whether you guys want to play meta or you want to play something a little bit different, right? There is variations to it. But this meta has not changed for months and months and months. And it has been in this way all the time. The whole time this game has been out, it's been like this, right? So it just depends what style of play that you want to play, right? Or what style of football you want to play. The first one is going to be meta. Now, when people talk about meta, it's not just the formation that you set up. It's not just the tactics. Bass, I'll get to Mbappe, bro. I'll get to Mbappe, man. Don't worry about that. Alex, welcome in, bro. Training free player, box-to-box players like that. Bellingham seems a nightmare. So many choices, so easy to ruin it. Exactly. But listen, man, it makes sense, right? It makes sense for everybody that is playing this game now. Like, the only way to really, truly understand, like, what's working in the game is pure grinding. Literally grinding against different styles of opponents, different skill levels, events, divisions. Like, you can't beat, like, raw playing the game. But not everyone can play and dedicate themselves, you know, to play the game and test out multiple different players in multiple different positions. So there is stuff that still works 100%. Like, if you narrow your play and you quicken up your play as best as possible, you play on the ultimate pass assist if you're on console, and you literally just streamline your attack and your attack patterns, right? Which is all about isolating your top 4 and defending with a 6, or isolating your top 5, which would mean that you'd remove maybe Bellingham and you'd play like this. A lot of players play like this. Well, they would play like this in a formation like this, and they'll have Bellingham kind of slotting back in here. And even for that with Bellingham isn't the best option, right? You'd have somebody like Barella fully trained up. That will be a perfect box-to-box defensive, right, when we're retraining him. But all you're essentially doing here is you have a right-footed shooter, you have a central figure that's able to play on the ground with 90 acceleration or whatever, and that's able to dribble, and basically when he gets the ball at his feet, he's shooting or else laying it off. And you have your left-footed finisher as well, which is either Salah or Messi. And what you will do is, you are literally, your whole goal here playing meta, right, is to get the ball as quickly as possible and as often as possible into this area with these 3 guys. Manually, you're going to be running in with Messi, right? Or whoever you play there. You can play Mbappe there, and whatever you want to do, you can switch to another right footer there. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter what you do, because a lot of the stuff that you're doing is basically going to be streamlining your baseline attacks. Now, I don't play meta, right? But meta is very effective, especially if you link it up with, number one, and know how what works in the game. Keeping your opponent guessing by shooting, and a lot of intricate triangle passes, right? You're not worried about any of these players back here. Vieira is basically like groundskeeper Willie in The Simpsons, lads. He's the janitor, mopping every mess up. Anything that goes past Barella or Messi, right, who can both defend, even though their stats don't say that. Like, Messi can intercept the ball as easily as Vieira, right? In terms of when it's a 50-50 and you hold matchup, okay? Because the game is balanced that way. Barella is the same. He's an absolute beast, right? We can replace this Barella here with Kante, who's unbelievable, who we got yesterday thanks to Leon, and he gave a big donation to get us Kante yesterday. That's a massive, massive player where you're going to have aggression, you're going to have speed, you're going to have balance, you're going to have stamina, right? He can chase the game all day long, chase the ball all day long, right? But when the ball goes past here, man, right? When it goes past this area of the pitch, we're literally going to be so central in here that we're not going to worry about corners. Now, if you come up against a guy that plays meta, you will see a lot of the time that when you are looking at these top guys in the world, right? And as I said, I'll show you these examples here and I'll bring receipts, man. Phil, what's up, bro? John, what's up? Live studio, oh my god, for now. Nerfed, Chiba, welcome in. Base, sir, what's the crack? Leon, we were just talking about you, bro. Welcome in. Lads, I got a new box I must show you. I got a new box I'm going to show you later. But anyway, yeah, a new statue. Yeah, meta is always going to be very, 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 very popular because most people want to play the game and get as many wins as they possibly can. Wally, welcome in, bro. Chiba, welcome in. Ron, welcome in. And you will notice that when you're playing meta, right, you will notice a recurrent team across the board on a lot of these guys, right? It's nothing got to do with like, oh, they play in a certain way or they do this a certain way or whatever, right? It's about a variety of things that they do consistently. It's the attack patterns that they do. It's the squad that they've set up. There's a couple of variations, right? But essentially, the whole meta is boiled down to 3 centre backs and 3 or 4 central forwards basically. Very, very few alterations between them. Now, I would say with this guy, the rank number 1 in the world at the moment, okay? The rank number 1 at the moment, right, is going to be using, I would say, a little bit of a sub-tactic here. Obviously, he's got Rodri sitting back as groundskeeper Willie, mopping everything up. He's got Costa Curta, he's got Nesta, he's got Gvardiol, he's got Kyle Walker on the right back. You might say Gvardiol, right? I don't think he's probably playing with Gvardiol there. I would say that he's probably switching Costa Curta back in. I know a lot of people are using Costa Curta left back. I personally think he's probably going to use him beside him and, take off Gvardiol. A lot of people like to put on because of mind games, and they know that, the likes of me and other content creators are looking at these top ranks. They don't want giving away every single thing that they have if they're coming up against people. They like to switch it up because I don't think Kevin De Bruyne fits into this team. But essentially what this guy is doing is he's kind of got like 5 players up here, right? He's got David Villa, he's got Mbappe, Michael Owen and Messi. If he can get the ball to any of the 4 of them, right, consistently, you might be able to stop him 9 times out of 10. But on the 1 time out of 10 that he gets the ball in, it's game over for you. So if these guys are so consistent, it's not just about the team they set up, right? We also have him playing long ball counter. We've got Bot, number 2 in the world, okay? We all know Bot, he's a really, really good player. I mean, maxed out the rating system back in the old PES. For any newcomers that don't know Bot, he's a really, really good player. He will be playing another variation again. He's playing a 4 at the back. Essentially, Vieira is playing as a 4th. And you will notice there as well that he's actually playing a triple DMF. This is a new kind of meta that they're using, right? Now, the reason that people are using this, okay, is the same reason as normal, right? Is that when he doesn't have the ball, right, which is going to be roughly 50% of the time, right? If you think about it, okay, no matter how good you are, the game will always throw it back to your opponent, no matter how good it is, right? Unless you keep the ball at the back and you want to pass around at the back when you get a goal up and you go full blue. You can do that, the game, unless you change your tactics or whatever. But Bot is all about literal attack. He's using Inzaghi. He's not going to be playing much possession. It's going to be direct. E1, welcome in, bro. He's going to be using very direct play. He's got a lot of options, sub-tactics here as well. He can go for a flat 3. But you will see rinse and repeat. Every single one of these teams that we're going to show you, maybe 90% of them, are going to have either 3 centre-backs and 3 strikers, or they're going to be having a variation of that, right? It doesn't matter if we go into the top, wherever, right? We also got Marios, the Greek champ. He's going to be using a slightly different one, but it's still the same, right? And as I said, you talk about kind of the mind games and stuff, right? He's using the centre-backs here, right? As kind of like, he just doesn't want to know, probably a couple of mind games, people looking at his team and saying like, what's he using, right? But again, he's using Mbappe, Romario, Messi. And I just feel like that if he's using Araujo in there, he's obviously going to be backing up this team with another 3 unbelievable players. He's not playing with these Japanese players that are 62 and 48 overall, okay? This is just a mind games. But again, it's the same rinse and repeat. Romario through the centre, Mbappe through the left, that can shoot with his right foot. Messi can shoot with his left foot. Schneider, Pirlo, they're going to do most of the work. Pirlo is basically a double pivot with Vieira, and he's got his flat back 3. You can see there that even this guy on the left there, he's got a flat back 3 there, right? So that's going to be basically how he sets up. Manager's system, all of that comes into a play style. Whether you like to have a lot more control of the ball or you want to play a lot of long ball counter. Most people use Ten Hag or else they'll use Klopp. Again, you've got your 3 CB here. Effectively, just because Araujo is down as a right back, he's essentially playing as a 3rd centre back. You can see how narrow his left and right backs are there. Nesta, Marquinhos, Araujo, Nedved, Schneider, Gilberto Silva, Son, Eto'o, Messi. And on top of this as well, man, any of these guys that you're seeing here are going to be using sub-tactics. Most of the guys, if they don't have you beaten in the first 20 minutes, will go into pause, they'll have their sub-tactic, they'll have plan A, B, C, D. These guys don't play the game at a normal level, man. They're playing it at a different level than most people. So if they don't dominate you within the first 20 minutes of the game, they're switching something. Either sub-tactic or else they're going into pause and switching things around, right? So that's kind of what they do. But again, you have your 3 CB kind of set up, your 3 SS or your 3 centre forward setup, okay? And we can literally, man, we can do this entire stream, right? We can do this entire stream here where it could just be, about looking at players, right? Some players that we'll know, some players that we won't. Etorito, again, using that 3CB method, tried and tested. Koundé, Maldini, Araujo, 3 centre-backs. You've got your deep hole playing Sergio Busquets. You've got Kante, who's going to be like a double pivot with Busquets, mopping everything up. You've got Mbappe on the left, can shoot everything. You've got Shevchenko as a focal point, and you've got Messi. He's using Klopp. Etorito's using Klopp. So essentially, again, 3 CB, 3 centre-forward. 1 holding midfielder, 1 hassling midfielder, and 1 creative midfielder. And that's basically what it is, man, all the way up, right? So, if we are looking at different players and different tactics, and I'm going meta, right, we can literally replicate that very, very easily, okay? And the main thing is, we want to have a double pivot. It doesn't matter if you leave Kante here or here. It doesn't matter. The positioning in the game will always default when you don't have the ball to your tactics, right? This is the one area that they haven't nerfed, they haven't really looked at or tweaked in months, right? What the long ball individual tactics actually do. So when you're attacking here, it says the players will spread out to effectively use long passes to set up attacks. That's why a lot of people don't like to use long ball counter, and that they're switching back to the likes of Klopp, because quick counter will spring a counter attack by actively dashing towards the opponent's goal, but you also stay closer to the ball, right? The players stay closer to the ball, and they all move forward in a wave, right? They all move forward in a wave. They're on top of you when you lose the ball. Long ball counter is the deepest defensive positioning that you can set up by default. So that's going to be something that people will look at here. And they'll have a look at this and say, right, am I defending too deep? You know, am I scoring 3-4 goals a game, or am I conceding 2 or 3 goals a game? And then they'll adjust to that, right? But again, that's what I would do. You have one option, which is called an outlet, playing meta. This is a meta setup, right? It's not what I would use. You're going to have one outlet, right? So we are going to use, for example, we're going to use Klopp here, right? Quick counter, okay? And we're going to go in and we're going to go to team play style. We're going to go quick counter. That's going to put our limit on that. Now, what I would usually do is have one destroyer. Destroyers have to have, we'll go into the training of players in a second, right? But you have one destroyer, okay? And you have one kind of like traditional, plays his role, player ID, playing style, whatever you want to call it, center back, right? Or else you can play a center back, such as Tomiyasu, where his defensive fullback playstyle won't be activated, right? What do I mean by activated? Okay, I've seen a lot of different things about this, right? I've actually asked what the player ID is now, and it is a mixture of all of these things. Before, in the older PES games, there was a bigger emphasis on how the player actually handled by his player ID. Now it's a mixture of everything. It's a mixture of stats, his height, his weight, his player ID is built into that. So they've kind of moved away from that. So a lot of eFootball newcomers might have never actually understood what the original player ID was, right? But essentially, this is what it is. If you go back out of all this menu here, and we check the actual definition of the game here, right? This is what it actually explains that these are, right? So if you go into player styles, it'll tell you compatible positions, and it will leave out incompatible positions. So for example, some of them are easy to understand, and some of them are a little bit more awkward to understand, right? So, for example, here, if we go down to a defensive fullback, such as Tomiyasu, who we just used and we just looked at there, he's a solid fullback who prefers to stay back and stick to defensive duties, right? However, the compatible position is just right back and left back. So when we put him in as a centre back, he will literally just play as his stats are, right? And how you set up the tactics. So it'll be like, listen, it just depends how much stock you place on the play styles, right? I personally don't place too much stock on him. I'd have no problem putting in Tomiyasu in here, even though his defensive fullback playing style will not be activated or compatible with him as a centre back. But look at his stats, man. Look at his stats here for a centre back. They're more than enough to actually warrant him playing as a CB. Costa Curta is another example. But anyway, back to what I was saying here. De Ligt is another one. He's also a build-up. And you will notice that usually the players that have build-up that are non-destroyers, such as De Ligt, Van Dijk, they will usually be slower. So De Ligt has got 60 acceleration fully trained up. Van Dijk has got 61 acceleration fully trained up. And we can go on and on and on. Usually the destroyer ones are slightly faster. Acceleration at 82 for Puyol. And Rudiger has got 75 acceleration. He's an old card. Cordoba is down as an extra frontman, so he's kind of a bit of a different one, right? Extra frontman doesn't really come into it, man, anymore, right? I don't worry too much about the play styles that much anymore. I'm more worried about like his actual stats and his player skills for the player ID that he has. So, for example, if you dribble the ball with Messi compared to dribbling the ball with somebody that's not Messi, you will notice a slight difference, especially offline, right? But yeah, that essentially rounds off the meta stuff, right? So Rudiger, De Ligt, Cordoba, these are all interchangeable. I'm looking for a mix of aggression. I'm looking for a mix of defensive help with the AI, defensive awareness 99, tackling 95, acceleration is poor, but every other stat is to the max. And I'm also looking for a versatile right back style centre back that stays centre when I'm losing the ball. So I don't want Cordoba out here as a right back. I want him in here that when I lose the ball, I'm literally defending with a bank of three, right? And then Vieira's pulling back in here with deep line on him, and Kante is going to be mopping up this area here. So I don't have to worry about these guys defending or pulling back. The AI can do what they want with them. All I'm concerned about when I'm trying to get the ball back is to have an outlet out here, right? Either this side or else a right back that can get forward with the ball. This time it's Carlos, right? I'm going to defend with these five when I don't have the ball. I have an outlet with Carlos. I have a target man as an outlet with Cristiano. And then I have my killers up here. And that's the meta. And it's all, you know, quick ping pong passing, attack patterns which are going to be triangulated. And that's basically what people will do. They'll literally kill you with offense, like, or attack, whatever word you want to use, okay? You can change personnel here. Somebody that doesn't like to dribble a lot or shoot can go for pure speed. They could go for an example of Mbappe, right? You can put him in there. Somebody that doesn't have Salah could use somebody like Ronaldinho, or they could use Neymar for crosses, or they could use, you know, even another option such as Cantona or Ribery or whoever you want to use in there, Son or whoever. It doesn't really make a difference too much, right? Or Collar. Collar is probably not meta enough for a lot of people. But that is essentially the meta, lads, there. As for individual instructions on a meta, you would be going with deep line on your DMF or your CMF. It doesn't really make a difference. Kante can be DMF or CMF, depending on how comfortable you are at scoring goals. I usually leave my DMF there, so you can swap him and Kante. It doesn't really matter. Kante is down as a DMF by default. His card is DMF, so you can swap either one of them and leave Vieira as your hassler, but you would then slightly need to change his build because he's not as fast as Kante, right? I would prefer Vieira there because of his tackling, his aggression, his height, his physical contact. So I would leave that at that. Kante is going to be my hassler, and then all I'm going to do is deep line on Vieira or else Kante, whichever you're comfortable doing. I would probably put counter target on one of my options as an outlet. So whoever I don't want to come back defensively, I would keep up. This time I'm going to choose Mbappe. You could also have as well, if you want, Messi as your attacking midfielder and keep your four men up front. It doesn't make a difference. And then, of course, your defensive capabilities. I would usually put defensive on Roberto Carlos, or else I will put defensive on my other player that I don't have. Now, this is just for quick counter that I don't have on my deep line. I would literally put it on Kante, because even though Kante is going to have defensive, right, he will still push forward, man. Trust me, he'll still push forward, especially when you manually trigger runs with a touch and go. And then also on the other attacking, I will either leave that or else I will put anchoring on one of these guys here to keep him from like going inside, right? So I want counter target and Mbappe. I want Mbappe to spread the width. I want Mbappe essentially, right? I want Mbappe, even though he's playing as a central SS, I want him kind of hovering around this area so that when I have an outlet past Carlos and I'm under pressure, I will literally spray it to Mbappe or I will spray it long to Cristiano or Messi, who will be hovering around this area with counter target. And Messi is down as a creative playmaker. That's going to obviously be a little bit of a difference one than a whole player, right? Let me get a couple of questions in here. The game is different every match. I can't even know if my player training good or bad when the game is inconsistent. Well, Pez ACC, genuinely, man, this is what this stream is about. I think the gameplay is as different now as it has ever been in the last couple of months. They've made so many silent nerfs and buffs. It's no wonder why a lot of people are going back to this type of formation, right? And this type of style of play. Now, we've covered meta, right? I'm also going to cover the training of these cards within meta, right? So, for example, every game that you're going to play is going to boil down to, if you come up against a guy that's playing meta, it's going to be about beating him on the press. If you can counter-attack him, right? I would give one piece of advice to anybody that has fairly average at the game, right? I would say, don't play the game on other people's terms, right? Now, I'm not saying to pass the ball and be a pussy and pass the ball around at the back and play, 5 at the back and never go forward, right? I would genuinely say that in order to beat a guy, right, it doesn't matter if he's top 1 in the world or if he's top Division 5, right? It doesn't matter. If he's playing meta and his whole aim of the game is to literally one-touch pass up the pitch, get the ball into his 3 meta strikers and shoot on target, you need to be able to close off his passing lanes. It's too late when it gets into Mbappe, Ronaldo and Salah. If you come up against any average player, they will punish you. Whether it's taking shots and getting corners out of it and do knock-on, to your target man, whether it's blitz curler abuse, whether it's speed abuse, whether it's one-touch pass, you have to remember, when people are playing meta, right, the defensive AI in the game, as good and all it is at holding your hand when the play is not being passed around, when you're dribbling, right? If you come up against somebody that is able to break your defensive positioning when you're controlling players, right, there is a slight delay when you pass the ball around the box, when you pass the ball in little intricate triangles, right? Anyone that knows that will know it, right? And usually when you come up against a guy that's able to abuse that against you and absolutely smack you with it, you might lose 2, 3, 4-0. It becomes very, very hard to stop that, right? So when you're training players like that, I would always focus, especially after this update and especially with what's meta at the moment, even if you're not playing meta, what just works for any system, right? I would be taking a look at cards where I know what I'm going to be using out of these cards, right? So it's simple, but it kind of goes without saying, right? It's simple and it goes without saying, but a lot of people still don't understand the basics of, card building, right? Or training guides or anything like that. I see a lot of stuff that is it just doesn't make sense what they're doing, right? I will see people who will be playing Messi as an attacking midfielder and they will have low pass at 85. Is there a massive difference between low pass Messi at 85 and 98? Not massively, but it's more about the rest of the cards as well. Jack, welcome in. United, welcome in, bro. Santos is a beast, yeah. Yeah, Santos is a beast. E1, what's up as well, bro? Effie, I wouldn't recommend Haaland at all. No, Haaland hasn't been good only for the first 2 months of the game. Ali Reza, welcome in, bro. Manually triggering runs is literally just holding L1 when you're passing the ball with X. For example, if I'm training Messi as an attacking midfielder, right, not only are his stats, but I also need his player skills, right? So, for example, here with Messi, he's got double touch. I've already thrown flip-flap on him. I'm just waiting for soul control to be able to do the ball roll, right? That's fine. But this Messi here, right, is the Son of God one, which is the dribbling, low pass, finishing, and kicking power player, right? He's down as a right winger, okay? I would not play this Messi in his position because this Messi is built for a completely different thing. Look, dribbling is similar, ball control, attacking awareness, and tight possession, all that, right? But this Messi on the right, the World Cup winning Messi, is built for one thing and one thing only, man. He's like the Terminator. He's built for goals, right? The Messi on the left is built for creativity and a mixture of play styles, okay? So I wouldn't play him there. Otherwise, it's all about just getting the ball into these positions, right? If you feel like you would be better suited with this Messi up here, you could take off this Messi and bring on... you could put on this Messi here as your focal point, and you could put a more traditional either hole player or creative playmaker into the central area of the pitch. That just depends on how you like to play. Some people like to use Ribery, some people would like to use Rui Costa. It doesn't really matter what player that you use, but essentially this Rui Costa, he's just a facilitator, man. He needs to be able to pass, shoot, everything. And he can do it all, man. He can do it all. So if you are training up these players, firstly, you need to decide what formation and tactics you want to use. If you're using Salah, right? These cards, literally, man, Stevie Wonder could train up this Mo Salah card and could train up this Messi card, right? Don't get it twisted that it's like, oh, these builds are whatever, right? These builds are so overpowered, they have no weakness. You can't go wrong, even if you auto-allocate, because they've got so many stats and their player level stats are outrageous, man. They're like ridiculous. You have a Messi here who is 102 dribbling, 103 tight possession, 97 balance, 96 physical contact, 98 acceleration, 90 finishing. So, I mean, it doesn't matter how you train him. He's too good, man. He's too good. But for players that are like Kante and stuff, right, that are godly, but they have a couple of limitations that are based on whether or not you train them right, okay? there is a couple of things that you can actually make a mistake with Kante. So taking Kante as an example in this one, what do I want Kante to do? Well, I want Kante to be my hassler. I want him to be my disruptor. I want him to be chasing down either manually or with the AI. I want Vieira to sit back in here as an extra CB when I don't have the ball, right? Which is controlled by your individual instructions, man. You know, if you have your individual instructions set up, you are going to have deep line on Vieira, right? The assigned player will drop back to a position that allows him to join the defense with ease. So the second, right? This is the most overpowered individual instruction in the game, in my opinion. I use this religiously. The second that you lose the ball with Vieira, right? Vieira is going to go from this position here, okay, back to here. He's going to slot in beside De Ligt. And what will happen then is De Ligt will take up a position that will be closer to the goalie because Vieira is in his slot. So you kind of manually do that, or automatically that happens, right? So if I'm training Kante here, I want Kante to be my hassler, okay? I want him to be defensive, but I also want him to be able to carry the ball, right? So for this specific formation here, within this specific build, and within this specific setup, right? This is how I would train Kante. So this is the build that we have at the moment. We've got 5 into dex, 11 into lower body, 4 into aerial strength, and 11 into defending. Is that defending too high with the boost? Potentially, because I've got 97 tackling and 96 aggression, right? But the rest of his stats are pretty decent. I want to be able to use Kante to kind of be my outlet, while also being box to box, which is controlled by his player style. And also, I want to see him get back and be able to push the ball out, right? Another cheaper alternative is Barella. Barella is insane, right? So we will actually use this Barella here because I need to train him up anyway. We'll use this Barella here, okay? He's 98 overall. Now, I have trained this Barella to be an attacking option, man, right? This is probably a better example because not everyone will spin for Kante. Now, this version of Barella is a beast. Absolute beast, man. But I have trained him up as a more attacking option. But within this system, I want him to be able to be an all-rounder, okay? So I'm not going to focus too much on his attacking ability, his acceleration, his dribbling, his ball control. If I can get that fairly high, brilliant. But if I can't, I want him to be defensively very sound. So we have 10 dribbling on this build because we were playing him in a different system. We were playing him as an attacking option, okay? Within this system as meta, we want to use him as a kind of a complete build, right? So we want him to be able to go forward with the ball, but we don't need 90 tight possession. And we certainly don't need to have his acceleration at 87, right? So I would probably cap him at this if I was looking for it, right? And think about how you want to employ him. We reset him here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start with the role that we want him to play, right? And then we'll see what we have left over. So straight away, I don't need to worry too much about anything. Once I have my physical contact at about 75, I'm solid with that. 75 is a nice little mark for somebody that you want to be box to box. He'll be able to shrug off challenges. The collision system is completely broken in this game at the moment, so there's no point wasting your time thinking that physical contact is going to be outrageous unless it's at 95 plus, right? Or 90 plus for attacking players. Balance and tight possession overpower that massively, right? That's all you need. For defending, I want him to be a defensive option to help out Vieira when Vieira slots back. Because remember, when you have Vieira without the ball, Vieira is going to be going back as a centre-back. Think of Vieira as like a sweeping centre-back, like what Rodri does for Man City in real life, or what Busquets did. Always being an outlet for his centre-backs or left or right backs, and always been mopping up to get that last challenge in. Little shimmy, little flick, and he's gone, setting the counter-attack up, right? So I still want him to be aggressive. I want to get that aggression up as high as I can to be able to chase, okay? But I'm probably happy enough with that there because of the boost. So straight away, we've got 90 aggression, 85 tackle, 85 defensive engagement. That's probably enough for the role he's going to be playing as a double pivot with Vieira. Next up is stamina and speed, right? So for stamina and speed, I'm going to show you in a second in training mode something that I get asked about a lot of the time, right? I'm going to show you this difference between speed and acceleration, right? So for speed, because I'm using Klopp in this formation, I'm only going to get a +2 manager boost. If I'm using Ten Hag in a long ball counter, I'll cap it at 82, right? Or else I'll cap it at 87 and we'll still get the same boost of 90. But for this here, I'm more concerned about stamina, right? So I'm not really looking at speed too much. I'm looking at stamina. I want Barella to be able to cover as much ground as quickly as possible. That's not controlled by acceleration. It's controlled by speed when they don't have the ball. Acceleration is basically the speed when he has the ball. Speed is the speed without the ball. That's the easiest way to talk about it. We'll show you in training mode in a couple of minutes, right? But lower body strength at this, I'm probably going to push the boat out here, and we'll go with 10 at the start, right? And we'll see what we've left over. Dexterity, when he has the ball, I want him to be able to at least be an option going forward that I can carry the ball. Pedri, Messi, all those kind of attacking based players, 85 is the max that I would go with him there. Balance at 88. Now you could go 78 and acceleration at 80 if you pass the ball a lot. That's the difference between your play styles, whether you like to pass or dribble. For me, I would prefer to run the ball and possession the ball rather than pass it away. Simply put, if you like to pass the ball around a lot more than dribble and run, if you're not the best dribbler or at retaining possession, there you go. It's going to be like this, where we have the passing up to the 85 mark, right? For me, I will probably keep the passing at 80 and do the dribbling at 80, or the acceleration at 85. Now, you can get both because you have the points, right? You can get both. But I want the passing or the dribbling to be around the same, right? So for this, I will probably leave the passing at 78, but I will put the dribbling up. Once you have 85 acceleration and you've got the speed at 86, your stamina is at 95, your balance is at 88, you've got your aggression at 90. On top of that then as well, what I'm going to go for is if you have the passing at, if you pass first rather than dribble first, right? I would try and keep them as close to themselves as possible. But what we would like to do is to get the tight possession up past 85 and every other stat. So if we can get the tight possession up to that, we'll go with that. That's fine. That's more than enough for us there. And we can also pop that into the passing. We're not going to get 85 passing and 85 dribbling with this guy. We're going to have to kind of limit it a little bit. Now, if you wanted to go 85 tight possession and 85 low pass, you can do that as well, right? This is a very, very, very strong card, right? And it was easy to get. We can also pop one more into dexterity if we want to bring his attacking awareness up as close as possible with that, because we can't put one into defending because it needs 3 points. But we can get one more into dexterity. So that build here that you're going to see is going to have, with the manager boost, you're going to have 80 attacking awareness, you're going to have 81 defensive awareness. So he's going to be perfectly balanced going forward and back with the box to box. You're going to have 88 speed, 95 stamina, 89 balance. We would have liked to get to 90, but we can't. Acceleration at 86. You have kicking power, which is going to keep your opponent guessing if you do decide to shoot, even though he's terrible finishing. Tight possession, low pass, perfectly balanced, and tackling is perfectly balanced. So you've got a perfect hybrid defensive player. Barella, if you haven't used him, is one of my favorites to use. If you're looking for an alternative, or you have Bellingham is a good option there as well. We've gone for an attacking option with Bellingham here. So he's built very little defense. But if I was building him in this system, I'd be popping up his defending a little bit, similar to what we did with Barella. We have 13 shooting on this Bellingham here because we were testing him as a pure attacking build, but I wouldn't train him like this within this system. So within this system here, we're rinsing and repeating what we get with Barella, right? So defense, we're probably going to go at least 85 aggression, 100% 85 aggression if we can. We're going to have his aerial strength up to 85. We're going to have his speed up to 88 because the stamina, because we want him chasing everything. Acceleration, I don't ever worry too much about acceleration, but we still want him to be an outlet. And then you pick between passing and shooting. Do you pass first a lot? Do you dribble first a lot? What do you do? It depends on your playstyle. For me, I'm a dribbler, man. I like dribbling a lot. So I'll try and get up his dribbling tight possession to 83, get the +2 boost, and then the rest into low pass. And we'll have one left over for aerial strength that we can just pop on if we want to, right? So there you go with that Jude Bellingham build. You've 85 aggression, you've got 85 tight possession, you've got 80 acceleration, and 90 speed with 95 stamina, 88 balance. Brilliant card, solid card, and perfectly complements Vieira. Because when Vieira is back here defending, right, take Vieira out of the equation for a second, right? Vieira is going to be where De Ligt is. Cordoba is going to be over here, and De Ligt is going to be in here somewhere. Bellingham has to cover all this ground when you're defending with a CB. He has to cover everything. And on top of that, right, when he gets the ball, if you actually defend the ball, right, because you're not going to concede every single time you get the ball past these players, right, obviously, you have to be able to have an outlet. You have to be able to be a passer, and you have to be able to run with the ball. You have to. There's no point just having somebody that's slow here, right? Let me see a couple of questions here. Let me see a couple of questions, lads. My friend only cared about overall, and I beat him a lot of the time. Yeah, well, people that auto-allocate, man, I lick my lips when I come up against a really strong team, because you can tell within a couple of minutes if people are really, really good at the game or if they just have an unbelievably stacked team. Now, before I move on to the anti-meta and before I move on to a couple of other questions and stuff, right, I'm going to show you something that I get asked quite a lot. And don't worry, I will do a dedicated video on this if you do miss the stream. If you're enjoying the stream as well, lads, we are going to be doing a New Year's stream, end of review, end of year stream. It's going to be a big one. That's what she said. But we are going to have a couple of giveaways. We're going to have some coins, some codes, a couple of giveaways. If you guys want to join, you can, and we'll take it like that. But for this, right, I'm just going to focus one thing and one thing only and do it very quickly. But yeah, we will be streaming for New Year's Day, either the Monday or the Sunday. I'm not 100% sure yet. It'll either be the 31st or the 1st of January. Probably the Monday with the new part. Lads, it's lashing outside. I hope you can't hear the rain there, but it's absolutely baiting down. But yeah, we are going to be doing a big stream. So if you do decide to join that, you will be in with a chance of winning some really nice goodies, right? So one big question that I get asked, especially since the last update, is about speed versus acceleration. So we're going to take a look at Salah here, okay? And we're going to start at this baseline here as best as we can, okay? Let me see if I can stop the ball. Oh, I was on it. All right, we'll start here. Look, we'll start here, just above, right? So when people talk about Salah and they talk about fast players, right? Lads, let me know if you can hear that rain, man. It's hailstoning down. Salah's got 97 acceleration and 92 speed, right? Just watch his speed here and what it comes across on the from a stop start on the stream, right? So we're simply just going to hold R2. We're not going to double touch. We're not going to do anything. We're holding R2 and we're just going to push forward, right? And this is his full sprint holding R2 flat to the mat, right? Get out of my way. 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 So we're just going to run to the end line here, right? And that's it. Now, when you run to the end line like that and people are talking about acceleration and stuff, right? We're going to show you a difference between running with a defensive player, right? And I'm just going to show you. So, we will bring on Bellingham, or take off Bellingham and bring on De Ligt, okay? Now, you saw De Ligt's speed here, right? De Ligt's speed is going to be what? 60 acceleration? 60 acceleration here. We're starting from the same type of position. Right? If we can. 1 second. 1 second. Bear with me, lads. Right. We're starting pretty much from the same type of position. Sam Tastic, Pez21. I would say email him, bro. I don't know, man. Email him. I'll show Messi build as well. Lucas, we're streaming, man. Yeah, it's just a quick one, though. Just a quick one. I'll probably be 20 minutes more and that'll be it. But I hope you're enjoying Greece, man. I hope you're enjoying Greece. The players that are coming Monday are the Spanish pack. I did a review. I'll have a video up on it tomorrow. I will retrain De Ligt, yeah. But I'll just show you this, man, right? I'll just show you this. When you're starting dribble, right? I'm just doing a normal sprint here. Literally a normal sprint, right? Now, I've done a speed test before with a lot of these players, okay? If you're using players, right? If you're using players to run in a straight line like that, you will ask the question, right? You will ask the question to yourself, how come when I'm playing online, Mbappe, who's got 100 overall pace, can be caught by De Ligt? The reason for that is gameplay balancing, man. That has nothing got to do with speed. It is nothing got to do with speed whatsoever, okay? The reason why they're able to do that is because when the gameplay first launched, man, when the gameplay first launched, they decided to have the speed be a really, really, really determined thing in the game, like a balanced thing in the game, where fast players were just ridiculously pacey, right? Now it's more balanced like that. It's the same reason why an 80 rated centre midfielder playing in any league, right, can outrun, Messi. It doesn't really make a difference, or can outpass Messi. Where the speed comes into it is when you have the likes of Mbappe, where the speed comes into it and where the acceleration comes into it. Yo, Ravi, stop spamming, bro. You're just going to get timed out, man. Stop spamming. Andrew, thank you for the £2 gifted, bro. Thank you for the £2 gifted, bro. We don't have Pirlo, but I have a build-up Patrick already, right? But when you're talking about speed versus acceleration, right? I will do a dedicated video on it, but for anyone that's here in the live stream, you'll kind of know. If you're running in a straight line with Mbappe, right? Watch how the AI reacts when you're running in a straight line. Look, watch. Offline, right? He'll still be able to keep up with me. It doesn't really make a difference, right? He'll still be able to keep up with me. But they won't be as aggressive as they usually are. Online, this is balanced in a way more different way, right? It's balanced in a way different way. Because online, every player can catch up every player. It doesn't matter, right? Once you're shoulder to shoulder with a player, every player has the same speed. Defenders have the same speed off the ball that you have on the ball. And that's controlled by the acceleration from your attacking players, and it's controlled by the speed of your other players. Where the likes of Mbappe and Messi come into it is like stop-start and change in direction. This is like the meta dribbling at the moment, right? So for example, if you put on your training settings here, if we put on the match level at superstar, right? You can't put it at this. But if we like when their aggressiveness comes up, right? Watch the difference when they're chasing the ball, right? Watch their difference when they're chasing the ball. This is more evidently seen. It's hard to get this sometimes. We'll just kind of like flood the team here with hasslers, right? So this is kind of where it comes in. I have a video up on the J League Awards, man. So right, when I start a sprint here, right? When I start a sprint here, look. The players offline, it's different, but Declan Rice will still be able to keep up with me. Right? Where Messi comes into it is going to be, like, look here, right? Odegaard, Rui Costa. Here's De Ligt. Look at the speed De Ligt will cover here when I give the ball back. Watch. See the speed he's covering? Even though I don't win that ball because there's nobody in goals. Right? Don't focus too much on speed, man. Don't focus too much on speed in terms of your attacking players. Speed is like only to be used, right? Even Rui Costa here and Declan Rice. Look at the speed I'm covering off the ball, right? That's what it's all about, man. It's all about covering the gaps. Now, this is even more evident when you don't control the player. So it's hard to see it in an example like this, right? But if I let them win the ball here and I don't control the players, watch De Ligt. Look at De Ligt there. Look at the space he's covering, right? You'll see it right here. This is the space that the Ligt covers, right? When you go out wide. Watch this here. Now, it's hard to see it, man. It's hard to see it. But look at the speed here that he covers, right? This is in a sprint here where he goes from Declan Rice is on... He's mid-run, okay? He's mid-run. De Ligt turns, starts his run, and he's neck and neck with Declan Rice. In fact, he's ahead of him. Look, he's ahead of him. So the speed doesn't really matter when you're not controlling the players. That's why I'm making this point, because when I'm training defenders now, unless it's a destroyer defender, such as De Ligt, I'm not worried about speed whatsoever, right? Now, obviously, if you've maxed out the rest of his stats and you have a bit left over for speed, yeah, have at it. But for somebody like Rudiger here, right, I want his speed, acceleration. I want his speed to be as high as possible. I'm not worried about his acceleration because I'm not going to be carrying the ball with Rudy. I want his speed to be as fast as possible, his actual speed here. So if we're using Rudiger here, who's like a classic old school player that was once a free player, right? And I reset him. If we have his speed as high as we possibly can, right, with the manager boost, say we put his speed to 83, okay? Can we still, forget about everything else. Forget about everything else, right? If we have this here, right, his defensive capabilities, once his defensive capabilities are not impacted by having his speed this high, right? The only thing I'm missing out on there while having 85 speed is going to be his defensive engagement, which will not go to 88. So in order for me to go to 88 with the defensive engagement and to get it to 90, I'm going to have to go one more into defending, right? Now, on top of that as well, you're going to miss out on physical contact and jumping. But you have your aggression maxed out and you have 85 speed. That's where I would go with a lot of these destroyer-based centre-backs. The only bit of advice I can give you is that if you are using a destroyer in your backline, The only time you need to control a destroyer with the way the gameplay is at the moment is if you're going to get the ball and you're committed to getting the ball. I don't use my destroyers for space. I don't use my destroyers for anything. I let the AI might as well not give me control of the destroyers when I use them. I literally use the destroyer as another centre midfielder, like a Kante. Rudiger and Kante here are going to be very similar players, or Bellingham, or Barella. My defending is going to come from these two guys. Whether that's another destroyer or not, but it's going to be somebody that has got insane everything, man. Everything. Such as De Ligt here. A good example is this Van Dijk card, right? This Van Dijk card is outrageous, right? He doesn't have great acceleration, but he's got everything else. So when I'm actually going to be training Van Dijk here, and I'll reset him, right? I'm going to be putting his defending up as much as I possibly can. And once I get to 98, I'm obviously going to be missing out a little bit on the tackling there, but every single defensive stat is going to be at least 90. Because he's not a destroyer, his aggression is not going to go much higher than that anyway, right? What do I do with the rest of the stats? I'll pop it into speed. Simple as that, man. 75 is more than enough, and then I'll pop 1 into aerial strength if I want to go that route. I'll still be able to get the header up to 80. So that's kind of where I'd go with him. 99 defensive awareness, 99 tackling, 90 aggression, 92 defensive engagement. Watch the difference between Van Dijk and a destroyer, okay? So Rudiger, who we've trained for 2 purposes only, man. They're like the Urukai. They're trained for 1 purpose only, right? Speed and just aggression, okay? So defensive awareness, Van Dijk as a build-up is 99, okay? Rudiger's 94. That's more than enough for a destroyer, but it's excellent for Van Dijk, who's a slower base centre-back. Tackling, 99 for Van Dijk. Flawless, perfect, okay? Tackling for Rudiger is 94, more than enough. Aggression, there's the difference. There's the difference right there, right? 90 aggression for Van Dijk, 99 aggression for Rudy, and defensive engagement, 89 and 92. So the big discrepancy here between the two of them are aggression and speed. 85 to 75, which is a full 10 points more, and aggression, which is a full 9 points more. That's where you need to start training your players now. I guarantee you, right, if you train your players like this, if you train a destroyer, get his defensive capabilities as close or above 90 as you possibly can. Now, I'm talking about destroyer centre-backs. So we're talking about like any of these players here that are destroyers, okay? And this is why you need to kind of like understand certain aspects of the gameplay, right? CB, destroyer. Any of these guys, Jimenez, Otamendi, Ruben Diaz, Koulibaly, right? Koulibaly is another example that we reset yesterday, okay? If we pop him in there, right? Koulibaly is going to be our destroyer, okay? He already has a baseline stat of 78, okay? 78 pace with the boost, right? We can pop, because we're going to be getting the boost to that, we can pop 7 into that, and then the rest into defending, okay? Well, what weakness does he have here? We'll leave 1 for aggression because we're not going to be able... Well, we could go defensive awareness 93, but it's not going to make a massive difference, right? So we can go that route there with him as a destroyer. We've got our maxed out aggression. We've got our speed at 83, which is going to get us a +2 boost, okay? That's how you actually do it, man. That's exactly what the game is rewarding at the moment, right? I played on stream yesterday, and I said I had to do this video because they have changed that a lot. Now, they explained this to us a long time ago, man, that they were going to be making differences to the players and stuff like that, right? If you were able to get 99 aggression on players that have at least 85 speed, the game will literally cover the gaps for you defensively. That's kind of where the game is at the moment, man. Royal Striker, it's the same for all of these, man. It's the same for all of these. You just rinse and repeat. It's the same if you're doing defense for your destroyer defense compared to Van Dijk, who's going to be your build-up or an extra frontman. I think destroyer is kind of like an extra centre midfielder that's going to mop up, right? Because you're defending with your DMF and your other 2 CBs. So that's kind of how it is, man. They do leave the back open. Yeah, they do definitely leave. They are more aggressive. But that's why I'm saying to you is that you only switch to a destroyer CB because they're so horny for the ball. Literally, they are so super horny for the ball when they see it, right? They're like a moth to the flame. You have to be able to let the AI control it. It takes patience. And defend with your slower base CB, not to leave gaps open. Every gap that the destroyer covers or leaves open with the AI, you should be covering manually, either with your DMF, your CMF, or your other CBs. That's it, man. So for this, once you have this, we still have 8 progression points left over. So you can actually decide what you want to do for it. We can actually go extra hard here and get 88 speed and 85 stamina, but it's probably overkill, right? We can throw the rest into physical contact, which is what I would do. Because his balance is so low, and because we don't have anywhere else to throw him in. We don't need any passing, anything like that. Zakaria is a beast as well. Yo, what's up, Wasil? No, right, so now that we've covered defense, right, before I leave or whatever, right, one of the biggest things that they've started to do, the best example I can show you is this Mo Salah here, right? So we actually have our free spins that we're going to show. So hopefully I get Salah in this. We have our free worldwide event spins, right? Hopefully we get Salah in this that I'll be able to show you straight off the rip, right? We've got 2 of these free ones. If the gods are with me, lads, we'll get Salah first off the rip. Straight in the bin, man. But we have the Blitz Curler Salah, right? So we'll show you. So I'm going to show you a couple of attacking players here as well. Who is it? 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 Pellegrini. Not bad, but not as much as we want, man. Not as much as we want. We want Salah. That's what we want. But it doesn't matter if we don't get him anyway. We'll just have to do it the old school way, man. Of the comparison between pages. It's not a big deal. This could be him, though. The fireworks for the Egyptian, man. This could be him. Let's see. Is it Salah? No, it's Bappers. No, it's not. It's Bisek. He's kind of unique CB, lads. He's got 1-touch pass. Anyway, right. Just take a mental note of this Salah here, lads, right? We didn't get Salah, but take a mental note of his stats. This is the end version of Salah. 90 dribbling, 90 acceleration, right? Brilliant. Sounds great. 86 finishing. They're all going to be getting a +2 boost with the manager. So Salah's in-game stats, now that they fixed the manager boost, is going to be 85 ball control, 92 dribbling, 83 tight possession, 88 finishing, 93 speed, 92 acceleration, and 83 balance. Big issue with the way the cards are at the moment is, right, this is his maxed out version, okay? Look at Salah's standard card, right? I'm going to show you this standard card here of Salah. And you tell me, right? You tell me what point that they're trying to get through to people, right? You've got the English League, we've got Salah, and we're straight in, man. So with this, even the standard GP Salah, right? Look at his stats, man. His tight possession is 76, his balance is 78, and it's going to be a similar card to the Player of the Week one, right? It's a solid card. He's on A rating. This GP version of him is for 200,000, okay? It's easy to actually train him up. He's got 23 levels to train up. It's a good, solid card, right? But when you compare him to the Blitz Curler, and this is where people will say, oh, it's pay to win, it's do this, it's do that. It's not that it's so much pay to win, man, unless you're going for top 500 in the world, right? It's just the way that they're balancing the cards now. And I'm going to show you with these 2 examples because they're perfect examples. This Salah is 81 tight possession and 83 balance, right? My Blitz Curler version of Salah gets to this. Now, obviously, Blitz Curler is not a free card. You had to actually spin for it. But look at the stats, man. 97 acceleration, 92 speed, 90 balance, 90 tight possession. They have leveled the cards now to a point, right, where 90 seems to be the stat below or above, right? 93, 94, 95, 96, I think is placebo. Anything above 95 is obviously going to help, right? If you've got 99 finishing, it's going to help. But if you can't finish with 85 finishing, right, or 90 finishing, it's not the card's problem, right? It's you just need to get more composure in front of goal, or you just need a bit of luck on your side every now and again. But what they've started to do is they've started to let you hit certain thresholds on these monster cards that are at least 90 minimum in 5, 6, 7 stats. So if you see here with Salah, right, you can't go to 90 ball control with this build of Salah. You can take a little bit from the finishing if you want to. So for example, right, if I was to train this Salah again with the way the gameplay is at the moment, right, 560,000 to retrain Salah, man. That's incredible, right? Because of his booster and because of everything, I only need to pop 2 into his finishing to get 90 finishing. Fine, that's grand. Now, I would want more than that because I like to have 95 because he's got Blitz Curler. But that's more than enough at this stage, right? His tight possession and balance, okay? They're not going to be getting boosters. 77 for balance and his tight possession is 79. So if I want to get 90 on that to have him in game, right, I need to go what? 13 with his balance. So I need to go 13 with that, which is going to give me up acceleration maxed. And I also need to go with this to 88. Now when I go to that card there, I'm going to have 90 tight possession. I'm going to have 90 balance. I'm going to have 90 finishing. I'm going to have 97 acceleration. Speed isn't that big of a factor, but I do want to have a little bit more stamina because I'm going to be playing him as a starter, okay? And I might as well get his speed to 90 as well, which helps. The rest of his card, if I'm shooting with him, I don't need any passing. So the rest of the card is I can pop one more into ball control if I want to, right? I can pop one more into ball control, and that will put me at the 90 zone. Now, you'll notice, right, Konami have been very clever lately. If I want to get his attack and awareness higher than that, I can't really because I'm going to waste stats. If I pop 16 into attack and awareness here, right, I'm going to have his acceleration maxed out and I'm going to be wasting 3 points in acceleration that I can't. Plus, no matter what I do with this card, if I want to have his dribbling stats at 90, his finishing at 90, and his acceleration and balance over 90, I can't get his attack and awareness over 90 because it costs too many points. So that's what they've started to do. Mbappe is the same, right? This was a free version of Mbappe that they brought out, man. Right? They brought out ages ago. And I'll show you the difference between the cards now that they're starting to limit them. So I do feel bad for people that are like starting out the game because they are going to get worse versions of the cards, in my opinion, right? This was a player of the week that they released before with Mbappe, right? Now, this Mbappe was a goal poacher. This is an attacking midfielder hold player, right? This Mbappe that they have here, right here as a CF, he kind of hit a lot of the old school stats. 91 dribbling, 90 finishing, 92 speed, 92 acceleration. But that balance is a bit of a concern, right? So if you are looking to use this type of Mbappe here, the balance is the key stat for a lot of these guys, that they're not hitting certain thresholds of that now. Whereas with the older players, if you go back to a lot of the older players that I had, right, for cards, and you go back to the old cards, right? Romario was got on day one. Look at his stats. Look at Romario's stats compared to Salah's even, right? Romario, 87 attacking. Oh no, hold on. If I Romario, I need to train Romario. Hold on a second, lads. That's actually good. I'll give him a GP. No, I'll give him a contract renewal. 1 sec. This was a day one Romario that you got as a veteran bonus, right? Look at his stats here with the boosters, right? We're going to have 88 finishing. That's going to be 90 overall. Passing we don't need. Dribbling, we have tight possession at 88. And dexterity, we have it at 88. And balance at 88. Do you see what I mean about how they used to balance the cards before? Romario with 7 levels could hit 90 awareness, 90 tight possession, 90 acceleration, and 90 balance, right? And 90 finishing. So 5 of the main stats that you needed for Romario as a fox in the box center forward, absolute demon, right, were basically in the game from day one, right? What they've started to do now is, even on the big time cards, is they've started to limit some of those abilities unless they're godly cards like this. Like this Messi card is a bad example. But even this Mbappe card or any of the cards that I've got recently, right? Even like, let me see as an example. Like this new Cristiano Ronaldo card or any of those cards that we get that we're training up, that we're using, right? Like Eric Cantona or Neymar or anything like that, right? This Neymar is a really good one, right? He's a really good build if you want to use him, and we've got a couple of trainer points to use there. They've actually shown their hand with this one as to like what they're trying for you to do. You will notice here, right, that this card is free. That's fine, okay? But when we max out his level training here, I will just do this quick for everybody. I don't want to waste time. He's going to take a lot of points. But when we max out Neymar here, notice something when you compare him to Romario, right? Notice something here when you compare him, right? So he's got 36 levels, which is a lot. When we do the finishing, 88, that's fine. Dribbling, tight possession. To go to 88 on tight possession, right, we're also going to eat into our dribbling by a mile, okay? So we have to limit that to maybe 83, right? The skin, welcome in, brother. No, Ron, to be honest with you, no, man. Offensive awareness on creative midfielders is not really needed. On whole players, yes, it is, but they've nerfed it. Exactly, they have. And that's what I'm showing you here. Like, you can get balance and acceleration and attack and awareness all the way here, right? But you can't go with the dribbling. You can't get the tight possession. You can get the tight possession, but what I mean is you're eating into this. To get to tight possession in this, you're leaving his stamina at 70, right? Now, I know I'm not a big fan of stamina, and I don't really care too much about stamina, right? But you still needed a bit, man. You still needed a little bit. Like, stamina on this card and speed on this card, you need to have it at a base level. So you can't actually get anything higher than this. You can't actually get it. So, yes, while we look at Neymar here, he's got 99 dribbling, he's got 90 acceleration, he's got balance, right? When you compare him to Romario, who was given out on day one, okay? Look at the stats here, right? Neymar is a whole 98. He's a whole 8 points more, right, than Romario as an SS, right? Now, if we change Romario to CF, right, here, it's going to be 98 each. But, like, if you are comparing these here, man, right? If you're comparing these here, right? If you're comparing these Neymars and Romarios, right? Where is Neymar here? If you're comparing the two of these here, right? Neymar has got 90 ball control. They both have similar attack and awareness. Neymar has got better ball control and better dribbling, okay? That goes without saying. But his tight possession does not go past 90. You can't go past 90 if you want to get 90 finishing and you want to get 90 speed and you want to get 90 acceleration. So they have started to balance the cards a little bit more. This Romario was the best card ever until they released this Messi card. But this Neymar card, I think that they've limited his tight possession because they want to release another future version of Neymar down the line. Well, that's what I would do, man, with that Neymar. Because of his boosters and because of everything else and because of how he handles, he's a really, really, really good player. All right, lads. I will focus on... This kind of stream went on a little bit too much talking about some stuff, but I hope it helped you out because they have changed a lot of stuff. No, there's no GP versions of the Legends, man. Yeah, eventually they'll bring out more Neymars and Messis. Of course they will. I mean, I'd heard rumours of a +8 booster Messi. I don't know, will that ever come? E1, I'm not playing today, bro. I'm not playing today. I have to go back to work at around 4, man. And I'm definitely not playing after the debacle that was yesterday with co-op with you anyway. Yeah, Wally, none of the Legends have GP versions, man. It's only real-life players that have the GP versions, like Mbappe and Salah and them. These are all obviously the special versions. So, lads, if you have any questions, man, if you want me to train anybody, now's the time to do it because this stream, I'm going to break it into videos as well. Gilroy, what's up, brother? Fady, what's up as well? Offensive awareness is only important for attacking-based players. So your top 4 players, if you're playing a 4 up front. Izuki, I literally just did a Neymar build right there, man. So that's kind of where I would go with it, man. That's where I would go with it. So if anyone has any questions, man, let me know. Jimenez is going to follow the same path as any of the destroyers. So Koulibaly, Jimenez, it doesn't really make a difference. Any of these CBs that are destroyers, I would train them in the same way. Which I've already kind of done. So there we go. Look, I'll reset him here. For Jimenez, 44 points. Again, defensively, this guy is an absolute unit of a card, right? A unit. We're not going to be able to get massively high stats on him if we want to have his lower body quite high. That's how I would probably train him there. I'm not too worried about acceleration at all on this card anymore. Aerial strength, if you want to get the physical contact up, you can a bit. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't really bother too much about it. Jumping, I would like, man. You can have his acceleration up a little bit more if you want. But I honestly feel like that this version of him is probably better. Because you're getting the aggression up as high as you can. That is genuinely how high I would do it, man. That's how I would do it. Defensive awareness, tackling, aggression, defensive engagement. That's exactly how I would do it. Defensive awareness is going to be the key for a card like this if you have his aggression over 95, because he's a very unique card, right? We've 5 points left over, man. But even at that, you've got 80 speed, 95 defensive awareness, 95 tackling, and 97 aggression. Again, if I was to compare him with Puyol, right? You have a same recurrent team throughout the two of them, right? Jumping because they're quite small, but it's that tackling and aggression. That's what you want to max out with speed. Now, on this version of Puyol here, I would actually retrain him slightly because he's only got 8 levels. You are a little bit tied. The new version of Puyol is probably the best destroyer in the game. But if you are going that route with him, I would keep away from dexterity completely. I'd get his speed up to that at least 75, and I pop the rest in. Probably at that, because I want his aggression to be maxed out. You can make Caminas have 80. Can you tell me why you can get auto-allocate? Yeah, Top Gun, to be honest with you, man, listen. Like, if you're talking about, like, auto-allocation, right? When you auto-allocate players, for 90% of people that play the game, auto-allocation works because they're playing the game very casually. If you're watching a stream on eFootball, it means that you have an interest more than the average person, and you also want to improve, and you want to get advice from people. Not just me, but from people in the chat, and from people that, you know, like, you can use it to your own game plan, right? It's like having a hobby for something, man. You know what I mean? It's like the difference between going to the gym and lifting heavy weights or going to the gym and actually doing a dedicated program for gains. You know what I mean? One is doing it for casual, to look good in a t-shirt. The other person is doing it to actually get stronger and physically more fit if they're training for a sport. It's the same with eFootball content, man. It's all about perspective as to how you do it. Auto-allocate, I don't sneer at people that auto-allocate. It's not to be, like, it's a video game. Everyone can auto-allocate certain players and they'll be beastly players from, right? But if you want to give yourself that edge, you have to tune and fine-tune the cards to how you play. There is no point me having a card, right, that has no shooting, because I shoot. There's no point me having a card in my personal squad that can't dribble and that doesn't have 90 tight possession, because that's my main attack and threat, is holding the ball as long as I can and basically giving my opponents as little time on the ball as possible. So that is kind of how I feel about auto allocation. Can I show a good destroyer? Why didn't we get 150 coins? They're not coming for a while. I think it's next week, isn't it? Yeah, next week. First week of Jan, I think. Can you show us a good destroyer CB? Well, Jimenez is a good one, man. Jimenez is a very, very solid card. If you wanted to go with that, you could. If you wanted to go with that, you could, man. 99 aggression, 98 tackling, 78 speed. That's as good as you can get this Puyol, man. Because he's only got 8 levels. But this in here, right? This in here is going to be with the playstyle. Destroyer. I'm all just about building the teams the best ways the best that I possibly can. Now, for somebody like Otamendi, right, this is a bit of a concern, because if you're using somebody like Otamendi with the current gameplay, the max you can get his lower body. Vazzy, welcome in, brother. Welcome in. Balance isn't that important, no, for defenders, base sir. No, in my opinion, no. I don't think it is anyway, man. I don't think it is. More important for a box-to-box midfielder, speeder, etc. Alex, I actually have a video done on that, man. I have a video. Yeah, I'm working on a video for that. So I will do that one, man. Box-to-box defender or midfielder, speeder, acceleration. I will do a video on that. I actually have most of it done. But yeah, if you are training somebody like this, man, right, you can actually get away with having a card with 75 speed. Of course you can, and throw the rest into defending, right? You'll still have a beast. Like, you'll still have a beastly card here, right? But the problem with a card like this is that you're kind of using too many points in lower body, that you're better off just use a card that doesn't need as many points wasted in lower body. Now, you'll still get 98 aggression. You'll still get all of that with the boost, 99 aggression, whatever you want. This is that Otamendi in there. It's pretty decent. But, yeah, for GP... this delict that I just trained again, 99, 95, 95, 95 with 70 speed. That's as much speed as you can put on delict as possible. Or, sorry, as much defending as you can put on as possible. You don't need to worry too much about his lower body, man. Yeah, I would agree. And I would say that, like, Sometimes, listen, if you put makeup on a pig, lads, it's still a pig. Don't make cards something that they're not going to be. There is no way, no matter what build you do of the Licht, right? No matter what you do with the Licht build, okay? I don't care if he's got 50 progression points, it doesn't matter. The max you're going to get for speed is 15 into speed. And then you're completely taken away from everything that makes him strong. Yeah, he'll have 85 speed and he'll have good player ID. But you can get cards that will have these same builds where you don't need to do anything else to the card. Yeah, I think now the new max for, I think the new minimum for the speed, usually before in all my older videos, I would have tried to have every single player in my squad from centre back to centre forward, minimum 75 speed and minimum 75 acceleration. You know, that's basically what it is, man. That's basically what it is. Now, defensively, if you've got a slow centre back, max out his tackling and defensive awareness and make sure he has blocker and interception, right? A destroyer centre back, max out his speed, his aggression, and his tackling and make sure that he has got interception and blocker. That's basically what you need to do, man. Yeah, of course, there's always alternative. There's always alternatives there. Yeah, exactly, Alex. Exactly, bro. Exactly, man. But that's the thing. Like, some people get stuck in a system of using the same players, and you're talking about giving yourself the 5% edge. That's what it's about, man. You're talking about giving yourself the 5% edge. That's what it is. And I've been saying this for months, man. I've been saying it for about 3 weeks before V3.2. They had slowly started to incorporate different cards with different builds. It's the same reason why some cards will have soul control and flip flap, but they won't have double touch. Or they'll have double touch and flip flap, but they won't have soul control. A lot of player of the weeks will have 2 OP stats, but they won't give you the ultimate one. As I said, right, with Salah here, right? Salah's got double touch, but he doesn't have soul control or he doesn't have flip flap. So you can do a nice double touch with him, but you're not going to have that meta ball roll. Mbappe is the same. Mbappe's got double touch, but he doesn't have the other 2. You'll also have a lot of cards that won't have one-touch pass now. Mbappe doesn't have one-touch pass, you know? So I still think the best card that they've released, even that if you didn't get Araujo, a really solid card if you want to see kind of where the meta is at the moment is to use Tomiyasu, lads. That's the card I would do. E1, you can't train Casillas wrong, man. You literally can't train him wrong, bro. If you're looking for a really, really good card, man, I would say that if you're looking for any destroyer, depending on what position that they're using, if you're looking for a CB destroyer, which I think is one of the most important in the game now, I think any of these, Jimenez, Araujo, really, really strong. Like, look at Araujo here, man, right? Look at Araujo here. Heading, man marking, interception, blocker, aerial superiority, sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance, and fighting spirit. Every defensive stat, right? You train him up, apart from his speed, which you can still get, right? We sign Jimenez here, okay? We sign Jimenez. And you compare this Jimenez, level 1, to the other Jimenez that we have, right? Rudiger's there as well. This is the Jimenez that we have here. Where is he? Oh, he's there. Hold on. Right. These are the 2 Jimenez boys, lads, right? I'm going to actually... Hold on a second. I'm going to reset him from level 1. These were both free cards. These are the 2 Jimenez lads here, right? One is 86 overall, one is 84, okay? Heading is pretty much the same. Speed is pretty much the same. Jumping is pretty much the same. Physical contact, kicking power, all pretty much the same. Obviously, the GP version is going to be a little bit worse. Defensive awareness, tackling, aggression, defensive engagement. Literally a point or 2 worse off. Defensive engagement is the big one. They have all the same player skills and everything the same as that, right? This amine is here. This amine is here. Has got 21 levels, right? And this amine is here. Has got 23 levels, okay? So that's where you're going to get the little bit of a difference with him. But they're pretty much the same cards if you were to train up that standard Jimenez. Until they release best outlet left backs. Are you talking standard GP, Leon? Well, Alexander, the reason that they're doing Dad is because they want the AI to cover as many gaps as possible, as quickly as possible. That's what the game is all about at the moment. Yeah, I've heard of that guy. He's a good CB. There's a lot of hidden gems in the game. The problem is there's no point in playing hidden gems where the current gameplay is at, because it's all about the monster players. Because they just get absolutely abused. In the game in general, Lucas was saying it yesterday, and it's somebody that I definitely recommend, is Grimaldo, right? He's a really, really strong card. Alternative for Vieira. I have a video done on best alternatives for CBs, or for DMFs. And I have a full video done on that, Tom Kobe. If you want to check out the channel, man, check out the video. Zakaria, Sangare, Barrios is a beastly one. There's a lot of really good DMFs. Do you remember a long time ago when they made it that the goalkeeper's most important stat was reflexes, right? They would make ridiculous saves with reflexes. Now they've started to change that over the last couple of months. That goalkeeper awareness is also important. DMF destroyers. I have a video on that as well, Gashu. Base sir, I wouldn't build up standard Haaland, man. For Mbappe, it's the same as I covered earlier. Yeah, Acuna's really good. Do you cross, Leon? If you cross, I would say that you need to have somebody with pinpoint crossing. Davies is a brilliant left back. The guy I'm talking about is this guy. Rafael Guerrero is an excellent option. We'll look at him in a second. The guy that I'm talking about is... Where is he? Maybe he's not here. Oh, he's not in the new update, isn't he not? Because he's with Bayer. No, he is, isn't he? Grimaldo's not taken out of the game, is he? Am I... Oh, he's down as an LMF, is he E1? My bad, bro. Yeah, well, anyway, this guy Guerrero, lads, is the other guy I was thinking of. He is unreal, man. He's unreal. This guy. Amazing, amazing player. And he's got so many player skills. So I would definitely give him a go, Leon, if you're looking to use a really good left back. He's got everything. Early crosser, everything. Best box-to-box DFM other than Kante. Barella. Short answer. Canton is a good choice, John. Yeah. Yeah, that player of the week, Grimaldo, was a beast, man. Yeah, he's short. This guy is short, Guerrero. He's short. Mac, welcome back, bro. Ahmed, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Reinildo is more of a a really good free-to-play option as well. I was just getting to him there. I do rate standard Timber and Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu is one of the best. That big-time card of Tomiyasu that we have is unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Like, he's one of my favorite cards to use across everything, this Tomiyasu. And even with this card now, with the way the gameplay is gone, right? I would probably slightly change this one, man. I would probably change his build, right? I'm not going to focus too much on dexterity because he already has 75 acceleration. Speed, we can go to 83 on that. Get it to 85, right? And then on top of that, we're just going to have focus on his defending. Now, this is down as a left back, but watch his stats. They're just ridiculous. Now, he's kind of like a hybrid one. He's not down as a destroyer. So, we're okay with 95 there. We also want to get his physical contact up a little bit more than what it is. So, I would probably go there with that. And then, of course, we can do his speed up to that. Now, I would like to get his speed to 90, but to be honest with you, actually, I will do that, man. I will do that. I will do that. We'll go mad. That is probably the build I would go with there for him. Like, look at this card, man, as a CB. Araujo who? Araujo who? If you missed out on Araujo, this is the reason I didn't spin for Araujo, lads. 90 speed, 75 acceleration, 99 tackle, 95 aggression. He's down as a defensive fullback, so it means that his player style is not going to be as aggressive as a destroyer, not as passive as a build-up. It's a god tier card, lads. That's the one card that I don't regret, man. That's the one card I don't regret going for. That was the one card I knew would just stand the test of time, and I was lucky. Now, we did get Rashford as well within this pack. Yeah, Araujo is a beast, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying the reason I didn't spin for him was because we'd gone deep for the Messis, we'd gone deep for a couple of other players, and I mean, if I can't defend with Tomiyasu at 90 speed and the rest of his defensive stats minimum 96 with the boost, or 94 with the boost, I mean, I'm doing it wrong. He's unreal, man. I'm telling you, I think this Tomiyasu card is the best centre-back in the game by a mile. Okay, not by a mile. But like, look, he's got height, he's got pace, he's got speed. And obviously on top of that as well, we have blocker, interception, heading, man marking, sliding tackle, and area superiority. We don't have acrobatic clearance on him yet. It's unreal, man. Raymond, I actually have videos up on the channel, man, of every player with them. Yeah, Puyol has really changed the dynamic as well of CBs. I like Cannavaro as well, but Tomiyasu is insane. Burn is good, but he's a little bit slow, sir. Base, sir. He was in a 50 box, yeah. Yeah, they should bring back like a fan's favorite. Get us to have him in. Jack, unfortunately for Arsenal fans, yes. I think Konami really messed up. I reckon, genuinely, and I actually asked the question, I reckon they only meant to give him 25 levels and they gave him 35 instead. I think it was like a flip or a slip of a finger. That's what she said. No, but I do honestly think he should have got 25 levels, man. Because if you look at this card at 25 levels, right? It would mean that we're getting what? Maybe, yeah, we would have probably get him a build like this. So you'd still have him fairly good. But you probably would have got a build like this. Maybe a bit more. You could have got a build like this. It'd still be a beast now, don't get me wrong. But that 5 extra into speed is ridiculous. You know? So I do think that Konami definitely put a bit of bias there. Exactly, Tara. Exactly, bro. You took the words out of my mouth, man. Tomiyasu Tanis card. So I would say, right, if you're struggling, man, if you're struggling with the gameplay at the moment, okay? Whatever formation, whatever anything like that, just simplify your builds a little bit. Simplify your builds. And I know that people are going to, I'll do this live stream and, you know, people will do videos and copy all this and whatever. Like, that's just the way it is, man. At the end of the day, right, it's a case of knowing what works for you, man, and doing that to the best of your ability. That's basically what you have to do in this game. So, for example, if you're using any of these cards, right, strengthen them up as best as you possibly can, and that's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. Tom, I don't have Hullet, man, but I have a build up on the channel of him. A lot of my builds, all my build videos in the last 2 months are still accurate with what the information I'm doing here today, because I've been saying about the changes in the gameplay that I knew were going to be coming and that they've started to kind of like put in for the last couple of weeks. And I've been trying to tell people, man, that speed is a massive one. People didn't start to see it until Araujo came out and it was like, whoa, why is he so fast? And it's like, because that's where the gameplay is gone now. That's why Tomiyasu is so beastly, man. Yeah, exactly, football lad. Exactly, bro. Yeah, them booster cards, Booster, Hullet, Makalele, Vieira, Kante, they're cheat codes, man. Kante was just winning the ball back off his own teammates yesterday for fun. He's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. So, like, that's what it's all about, man. Like, these cards are very interchangeable when you get to this level here. Very interchangeable. We do have Del Piero. Fatty, personally speaking, I wouldn't use... which Salah are you talking about? Yo, Fatty, stop spamming, bro. I'm literally answering your question. Come on. Football lad, watch this space. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. I'm working on a my league. The Del Piero I have is... Let me just double check. The original one. I think I have two. Hold on, I'll double check. I'll double check for you, Mac. So we have... Where is he? No, maybe we don't have Inzaghi on this profile, do we? No, oh, we are Del Piero. Sorry, we have this one, the original one. Sorry. This is the Del Piero that we have. I don't think this is a great Del Piero card, though. It's classic number 10. My league is fun, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I bet you have more Messi. And look at all the amount of cards that I have. I have so many Messi cards. Look, I'll show you. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 Messi cards I have. But this Messi is unbelievable on the wing. Or no, sorry. Where's the boot kiss? Yeah, this Messi is unbelievable on the wing, man. Like, if you're using this Messi, I wouldn't use him as a creative. I'd use him as a pure speed demon, which is what we used him as. So yeah, I want to have his finishing. That's fine. You don't need to actually go... excuse me. You don't need to go too much with the finishing on this guy because he's got the booster, look. So we don't need to go all those. We can actually just pop that into 3. 3 into shooting. Brilliant. Passing, we don't need to worry about that for a second because we're just using him as pure pace and shooting, right? And stretching. We're going to go 88 with the tight possession. That's going to max that out. With the tight possession, he's going to get a boost to finishing, speed and acceleration. So we only need to go realistically... one sec. With this Messi here, if we're playing him out wide, it's going to be more pace. So we're already above the acceleration, so we want to max that out as much as we can. But he's going to be getting the boost here to that, right? So we actually don't need to boost up his shooting only to 1. Dribbling, we're going to be getting the +2 to dribbling. So we'll go with that. 90 tight possession, 94 ball control, 98 dribbling, finishing 90, 91 acceleration, and speed 85. We'll pop 5 into... Oh, why did I get timed out? That was weird. Stream still up? Should be. Servers are down? What the hell? They don't want me showing you all these tricks. They don't want me showing you all the tricks, lads. We're back though. But anyway, this Messi here, right? If I'm using him, we have his standard card here, or his standard training here. Acceleration, I'm going to try and max out as much as I can, right? So player progression, dexterity. Once we get the acceleration up here, we're going to be getting a +4 to that with his booster. So we're going to have to go about that. Now, I'm not too concerned about his acceleration being 103. That's not a big problem, man. I want his balance, his tight possession, and his finishing to be all 90. Now, people will look at this card and say, why not use him as a CF? Because he's got pretty much the same stats. But the one big difference between this Messi and the other Messi is his physical contact, which makes the other one godly. Now, still on top of this, we can pop 5 into, 4 into speed, and then 1 into aerial strength, or else 1 into passing. And there's our card. 89 speed, 103 acceleration, 90 balance, 90 type possession, 90 finishing. I do love that Messi card, lads. But that's just a different experience than you're playing with this one. This one here is a pure run and gun center forward based around him. His speed isn't as high because I'm not going to be leaving him off the ball too much. His dribbling is better, his tight possession is better, his finishing is the same, his attacking awareness is good, acceleration is 98, balance is 97. But that key stat there for him is the physical contact at 96, which is outrageous. Outrageous. There's a lot of different free versions of Messi. I like this one. That was my favorite card because of his high balance. This card is actually quite decent here. They also released this one as well, which was quite decent. Yeah, the only premium Messi I'd use at CF is that one that I have in there, the World Cup one. This one here, which was the Ambassador pack, not as much. He's still a good card. Still a very solid card when you slot him in. Look. But the problem with this Messi is he's down as a creative playmaker, Mac. That's the biggest problem with him. His AI is a bit funky when you play him as a CF. It's still a solid card. Ravi, I would say Barrios. Try Barrios from Colombia. I would play him as a secondary option or else AMF, yeah. That's where I would only play Messi. That's why I have his passing so high there and his acceleration. I'd actually change his build based on this because I'm going to be playing him as an AMF. He is getting the booster to his passing, his tight possession, his dribbling, but we still want that. We still want the passing to be a little bit higher, so we'll probably go 4 into that. That'll give us what we want. Shooting. Depends if you shoot or not. Depends if you shoot or not. Low pass doesn't need to be that high because we're obviously going to be getting the little boost. So that's 90 ball control, 94 tight possession, 90 low pass, 6 into balance will do us as well. There we go. And then the rest of it is going to be a little bit of speed. Now, the reason why we're focusing, you might say, why are you focusing on a bit of speed here instead of acceleration, right? We're still going to focus a little bit on acceleration, right? I'd like to get that acceleration to 90, but I do want the speed to be at least 80 and his stamina to be at least 80 if he's my main AMF man. That's kind of where I would go with him. It's a solid card, man. It's a very solid card. Only usurped, of course, by the new beastly cards they brought out. Everything is really solid about that card. Now, there's no finishing on this card. That's the only thing. But you can get a bit of finishing on him if you want. If you shoot a lot. If not, just pop it into passing or speed. So try that build. Speed isn't as important with this card because you're not going to be covering that much ground. I wouldn't play him CF though, even though his card is down as an SS. I don't have York, no. Bass, I actually have a video coming on Mbappe. So let me see. The Mbappe card that I have here. This one here. This was the best Mbappe card that they released. And it's very similar to the GP one. This one here. And all you want to do with Mbappe, it doesn't matter what card you have of him. Look. All you want to do with him is because he has no booster. This was one of the best free cards they ever released, lads, in my opinion. Solid across the entire board. Plus, his player skills. He's got double touch. He's got first time shot. He's got acrobatic finishing. Obviously, he doesn't have one touch pass, but you can give him that. I just never used him because I never really needed to on this account. But on my other profile, he was a demon for me. Absolute demon. Finishing, 85 is more than enough because you can't do anything else. Try get the tight possession to 90. Try get his balance to 90. Whatever else follows. And then also you can get your speed to 90 because he covers a lot of ground that way. And then if you want to go with the finishing, you can actually get that to 87 if you want to go that route. That's a pretty decent card, man. Yeah, his contract is due 22 days left. The contracts are a non-issue now, though. The contracts are a non-issue. That's a very solid card. Yeah. You need to grind, man. If you don't have that much GP, you need to grind. Well, you can sort cards. Like, you can sort whichever cards that have player skills. So, like, if you're playing a lot of one-touch football, try and get in players that fit that role for you. So, like, that's where Vinicius Jr. might come in for you, where Ronaldo might come in for you, where the likes of Rashford might come in for you, Ronaldinho. Any of those cards. Guti is surprisingly good as well. Like, some of these cards are beastly. Even look at this classic Makelele, man, right? This Makelele here was one of my favourite cards of all time, right? We'll give him a contract renewal just out of pure loyalty. Right? If we look at the two of these side by side, this Makelele only had 10 levels, right? And we actually had acceleration fairly high on him. We'll retrain him. Right? We'll retrain him. And we're going to give him 85 speed. And we're going to give him the rest into defense. Until we get to that. I'm going to give him more speed because we want to max out. No, 85 is more than enough for Makelele. We'll probably give the rest into physical content to get it to 90. And that's still a monster card with 10 levels. But I think Kante is a little bit above us. And obviously Leon donated 50 quid yesterday. Wrap It Up donated $5 as well that we opened Kante. E1, what annoying sub-tactic are you saying, man? Send it into the Discord. Stunner, you can play any cards anywhere, man. It doesn't really make a difference. Like, if you think, right, Mbappe's down as a goal poacher, but you can play him right wing, right? The only thing is that when you're playing, if the play style doesn't override the stats and vice versa, man, am I connected to the servers of what's going on in this game? People overcomplicate a lot of the stuff, man. They overcomplicate a lot of stuff with this game. Like, in my opinion, they overcomplicate what this game is about, man, and what works, right? People get obsessive over these playstyles about compatibility, incompatibility, what triggers, what doesn't trigger, any of this sort of stuff, right? If you're playing a fox in the box, it says a striker who lurks in the opposition 18-yard box just waiting for the ball, right? If you look at any of the fox in the boxes I have in my card, right, and I know fox in the box is quite rare, right? If you look at them in my collection here, and I go into my reserves, right? Player style, fox in the box, right? Some of these cards, like Haaland, is a fox in the box, right? At the end of the day, man, does that mean that Haaland, right, can't get the ball? Now, I have two versions of Haaland here. I have the Player of the Week one as well. But this one, right, he's got 24 levels. He's got 86 speed, 90 physical contact, but he's a fox in the box. What good is Haaland's speed at 86 if he's literally just going to be inside the 18-yard box? Like, don't put players in a box just because they're, like, don't trap them in a box just because they say that they're a fox in the box or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, Kante's down as a box-to-box, he plays true to self, right? That's fine. Rui Costa's down as a creative, he plays true to self. But Rui Costa as a creative playmaker will still make runs into the box here. The game play is focused on getting you as many chances as possible at scoring. That's where the game plays at. That's why you'll see a lot of games 4-3, 3-2, 3-1. Usually if you're able to score one goal, you'll score a second. It's very rare that you'll have like back-to-back cagey 1-0 victories. Unless you're playing 5 at the back and your opponent's playing 5 at the back. And even at that, you'll probably concede from a free kick, a corner kick, a rebound. The game encourages and wants goals to be scored. Simple as that. I mean, they're doing a Leo meter at the moment. Like, the Leo meter is not for goals conceded, it's for goals scored. Because that's what makes the game fun, people scoring goals. So don't get too obsessed over playstyles. To be honest with you, playstyles are literally just a definition of what that card is. It doesn't really control anything, man. Fatty, I've answered every question, bro. I've answered every one of your questions, man. Soren, what's up, bro? Hope you've been around Roberto Carlos in the stream. I haven't retrained Carlos. To be honest, if I was retraining Carlos here, I don't need to do too much with him, but I'll do him with you, man. Thanks for the wishes of happy Christmas. I hope you had a good one as well. Never ever play with this scary dude. Showtime Ronaldo, velocity. I can, man. I can show you. Skinny, don't be giving me compliments, Skinny. I feel tired, man. Raymond, I would ask you a better question. What do you want your SS to do? Do you shoot? Do you want him as a second AMF? Do you want him as a touch and go? Like, what do you want your SS to do? Forget about playstyle. Forget about how the game determines him. Look at how we've trained up Carlos here, lads. 19 into defending, man. And he's a godly card. Now, the reason we've gone so high on this is because of the aggression. Now, if we just keep this at... actually, I'll probably go... No, we'll keep it at 13 for now. Speed, we're going to max out his speed, man. At 95. Well, Raymond, if you're making runs on the attack, I would focus on a... I would be more concerned about a player that has got high acceleration than an SS. Like, if you look at any of my SSs here, right? And I talk you through them. There's a mixture. You've got Maradona, who's down as classic number 10, who's an SS. You've got João Felix down as a creative. You've got Neymar down as a creative. You've got Messi as a creative. This Messi as a whole player. I would probably go for a whole player with high acceleration and high tight possession. That's what I would use. Del Piero is a beastly card as well. But yeah, this Carlos is a beast, lads. Absolute beast. And I want acceleration with Carlos. The reason why I want acceleration with Carlos is not to be, you know, what's the word? Contradicting myself from earlier and saying like, oh, you told us not to have defenders. Carlos isn't a defender. He's an outlet. He's a manually controlled space blocker. That's what he is. He's like another Kante from a left back. When I have Kante, I'm going to cover serious distance with him. So I want his stamina and speed to be as high as possible. And also as an outlet, I want him to be able to run with the ball when he gets it. So that's why I'd have his acceleration high. Oh, actually, I don't need his acceleration that high, do I? No, I only need to put 3 into dexterity. So there's the build at the moment. So you'd have 97 speed, 90 acceleration, 99 kicking power, 95 stamina, 88 balance. Right? Defensively, I want him to be more defensive than attacking, but I still want his aggression to be high when he sees the ball. Right? Now I've got 21 stats left, 21 points left. I want to use dribbling because even though Carlos is a good passer, I'm happy enough with the passing, with the booster that he's going to be or with the player skills that he's going to have to be able to get pinpoint crossing, outside curler, low lofted, and I'll probably try and give him like weighted pass as well. I haven't ever given it to him because we were playing him in a different type of role. But for this role, I would probably play him with dribbling because I want him to be my outlet. Now, I still want him to be fairly decent, but I want him to be at least 85 dribbling and passing to be about maybe 78 lofted if I wanted to go that route. You could go 81 if you wanted to, but that would be more than enough for him. Now, if you want to, it's just a case of whether you want to max out his speed or not, which you could do, or his defense. You could do one more into defense if you wanted to, and that's a fairly decent card. Classic 10 seconds holders, excellent creative players, not bad. Well, to be honest with you, they've actually taken away Mixu. The whole player is not as effective anymore. Royal Striker, in my opinion, bro, no, there isn't, man. There isn't. In my opinion, it depends what position, but no. There is no real difference between 90 and 95. Between 85 and 90, yes, in my opinion. But that's that Carlos build there. Brixia, welcome in, bro. I don't have big time Dino, but I have a video up on my channel. There's no point doing a lot of the builds on the DBs and stuff because the DBs is just raw data, man. It's raw data. You need to actually know what type of player that you're looking for. Yeah, of course, Shorav. Of course I will, bro. No, whole player doesn't suck now. It's just not as good as it was before. It's like The Simpsons. It's still good, but it's not what it used to be. Yeah, the Spanish players coming Monday will be decent. As far as we know, these are the cards that are coming Monday, lads. So Monday's cards are going to be the Spanish League selection attackers that you see here. Okay? Then on the Thursday, we're going to have the mid-season MVPs. Declan Rice, Griezmann. These will be nominating contracts. Okay? My pick for these is probably going to be Horta. I think he's going to be a beast. And then on the Thursday, next Thursday, we're going to have the Italian League Guardians. Right? The Spanish League attackers on Monday are going to come with legends. Now, there is a couple of Spanish legends in this database that have been loaded up. Cruyff is there, who we're thinking will come because they changed the name. Cruyff is definitely coming Monday, as far as I know. And then you have Van Nistelrooy, you have Zamorano, Beckham, Raul. So there's a lot of players in there. You also have Forlan. So the rumors are Forlan, Cruyff, and who else were they saying? And Raul. They're the three cards that are rumored. And then for the Italian Guardians pack, Maldini, Aldair, and Bergomi, who's here somewhere. Here, Bergomi. Yeah, so these are just a sample of the cards that are coming. Now, also on that as well, the Spanish League attackers, like you have the likes of Mendieta and them that could come, but I don't think that they'll come. Usually the way they do it is they have 1 week attacking legends and a second week defensive legends. So for example, when they brought out Carlos Puyol and Oliver Kahn, the following week they had 3 attackers or 3 different positions. It's very rare that they bring out like 3 strikers, 3 strikers, or 3 CBs, 2 CBs in a DMF, so to speak. So that's what's coming Monday, man. Yeah, look, there's some nice cards coming, but I still think it just boils down to what you want out of the game. Like my personally here at the moment, I would like Cruyff. I mean, this is my main team that I'm using at the moment. It's not meta. It's very, very fun. It's very, very interesting. It's a bit of crack to play out wide. I've got the Blitz curler with Salah and Son. I've got the best CF in the game in Messi. My options off the bench, if I need to, Cantona and Collar, Mbappe, Neymar on the wings, Ribery on the wings. You've got Ronaldo as the wild card to come in. You've got Rudy, Cordoba, and Puyol with Marquinhos. And you've got Zico as my creative option with Barella. So I've got a very stacked team. And then that's not even including the reserves here of any of these players that I want to use. I can use any of these cards here and change up any of the cards, right? So I've got a stacked team. But in saying that, Cruyff would probably get in here instead of Son when they do eventually blitz the Blitz curler and nerf that. Because they always do, man. They always do. Kante is probably an upgrade on Barella. He covers for Carlos here. Van Dijk has got the little bit of cover from these two boys because he's quite slow. Vieira is going to help out Tomiyasu and Van Dijk. And Wan-Bissaka, I'll mix him in with whoever's on form. Wan-Bissaka is unreal. Look at his stats, man. 91 speed, 99 tackling, 95 aggression. Cruyff will be good as an AMF, yeah, but I would probably replace him with Bellingham because Bellingham is my attacking option. I just need to retrain him. I would usually play this guy as an AMF if I have an AMF there. So, for example, I would use Rui Costa or Guti or whole player Bellingham or any of those. It doesn't really make a difference who you use. Depends what you want to get out of the game. Match Pass, that is being reset very, very soon. The same as the eFootball League, so the 4th. So on Thursday. Next Thursday, the Match Pass is going to be reset. Ed Mielson is pretty solid as a CB, yeah. Yeah, you'll get a free Match Pass on Thursday. Arrow, Koulibaly is on down form. No, he would be in my main team. He's on the bench, or else him or Tommy Ashu will probably swap out. It depends who's on form. Koulibaly is down formed this week. Condition, in my opinion, doesn't really matter, no. Because now that they've added more players to the bench, to the reserves, you can get away with carrying a few players that have C form. That's why I'd have somebody like Wan-Bissaka or Koulibaly or whatever. Maldini probably would replace Van Dijk, but not a necessity. I think Maldini will be... This Maldini that they bring out will be an absolute demon, lads. I think he'll be super, super good, man. Because as I said, they have a lot of good cards now in the game. You know? They have a lot of good cards in the game. This Maldini, his level mightn't be 32. But even at this, watch where the meta has gone without booster. Right? It's ridiculous, man. Like, this is just with 32 levels, which he probably will have. That's what you're going to be getting without a booster. Now, obviously, you don't need his speed to be that high. Plus, he'll probably be getting a booster to these defensive stats, so you won't need to go that high with it. But even if you go here with 83 speed, right? And you go max out these, you'll still be able to get aerial strength and physical contact very, very high there. You know? Jump would be 91 or whatever you want to do it. So there's going to be a lot of really good cards. And the thing about this Maldini, man, if he does have 30 plus levels, is he's going to have tight possession, low pass, and lofted pass all fairly high as well. So it's a solid card. A very, very solid card. But would he get in past Van Dijk? I don't know. That's the question. You know? Yeah, well, if he does have that levels, if he does have 32 levels, he'll be too good. So I think it'll be under that. But we've seen before, some of the cards have really high levels and some of them don't. Like, for me, the card that kind of interests me most at the moment is probably going to be Bex. Because I don't have Beckham, and he would be something different. I don't have Pirlo. He has an amazing card. He is quite slow, right? But that's not a big concern if you're playing him kind of where you need to play him. Like, his pace and all that is quite decent with this card that you're seeing here. His dribbling is quite decent. His passing is ridiculous because he's going to have a booster. And his shooting is actually quite decent as well. So he's kind of like a really interesting one. A really interesting card. So, yeah. Look, there will be good cards, but of course, man, it's all got to do with how you want to play and how you're going to set up your system and like what works for you. Because not everybody is going to want to spin all the time. Not everybody is going to want to, I suppose, like feel that they need to continue to buy players all the time. You don't need to, man. You don't need to. Honestly, you don't. And these nominating contracts, they're gone in 5 days' time. So that's what the MVPs are going to be there. That's what the MVPs are going to be. The new MVPs. There isn't a new Romario card in the database. We need Damien Duff. Yeah, man, definitely. Rooney, Duff, Vidic, Evra, classic Premier League players would be class. Yeah, the new nominating contract ones, they're going to be replaced with this. They're going to be replaced with this. They're the new ones coming. Duff, Robin, Vidic, Evra, loads of players, man. Rooney, Tevez. There could be some amazing cards that come. Higuain, Pato, loads of cards that they could come. B-Tunes, hope you're enjoying work, bro. Welcome in. Yo, CK Pez, what's up, bro? Van Persie. Yeah, but these are going to be free on the Match Pass. So basically, you just play, they'll be replacing the club icons. Yeah, well, you'll get your chance at Cruyff, John. I don't know about Zidane and R9. I know that they were really pushing to get R9, but I don't know if that's going to be a possibility until 25 or if it even will become a possibility. As I said, I'd heard that they were going to bring in a 14 player card box on for a freebie, that it would be a login bonus and you get one of 14 legends. Haven't heard anything about that since. They might have scrapped it because everyone's getting the free Costa Corta or Maradona. So they kind of change things, man. That's why I don't really talk about rumors too much, man, because I've heard 70% of what I've heard is probably not come out. And I'm not one of these guys that will say a rumor and not stand by it then if it doesn't come to be true. You know what I mean? It's either if I say something, it's happening, and that's it. If I'm able to say it. Match Pass Rafa Silva's beastly, yeah. Well, they will be having the new Match Pass as well. On the same one. Badger was in the game before and he was pretty decent. Kind of like Totti was there. There's a lot of cards, man, that they could add. I don't understand why they don't go for more attainable cards. Yeah, there is a Maradona card in it. This Rafa Silva is quite demonic. Yeah, he's a beast. But listen, man, we covered everything today on speed and acceleration, right? But the big thing on speed and acceleration is like, it's very position specific. I guarantee you, right? I guarantee you, you will see videos from people posting up on Twitch or on YouTube or whatever, right? That literally won't know what they're talking about because the way that the speed is working now is very, very, very different than what it was before. And what people are going to run with now is, make everybody as fast as possible with the speed. Make my defensive players as fast as possible with the speed. But it's also tied into the player style, and it's also tied into the system that you're using within the game as well. That's why it's like, that's why it's important to actually test things out and be able to see. Because I know a lot of people that have trained builds really badly and they're struggling with the game and they're like, oh, you know, why is this not working? The game's shit and all that. And like, the game can be shit. Like, there's a lot of issues with the game still, but they don't make it easy on themselves because they're training players with knowledge that is outdated or with knowledge that they don't fully understand. OC, welcome in, bro. Oh man, if he can, I think. Listen, I don't think they're going to bring out a card, that's going to be better than Messi across the board yet. But yeah, I do think R9 would have to be 102, 103 overall with like insane stats. Luis Suarez. Well, they have a good version of Luis Suarez in there as it is. Alan Shearer would be good as well. Yeah, there's so many cards, man. I'd love more defensive players. I'd love Vidic. I'd love a lot of those. I'd love a lot of those cards. This Rafa Silva is beastly. But yeah, those nominating MVP cards are pretty decent, man. I'm not going to lie. And these legends that you see here are pretty decent as well. I think the Showtime Ronaldo card that we got and that I got is... he's going to be the best for me, I think, going in. Going forward. This Ronaldo card. I think he's going to be as good as he gets. Now, I still think that the club pack Ronaldo's better. I still think the club pack Cristiano I have is better, lads. That's just my personal opinion. I know that they've got similar builds and stuff like that, but this club pack Ronaldo is outrageous. Watch, I'll train him for you. I think he's the best player for me in the game. But the new Ronaldo does finish from everywhere. Yeah, I do agree with that, Skinny. I do agree with that. But this Ronaldo is actually quite decent as well. In fact, he's very decent. Yeah, he has it all. Very solid card. 100 overall. That's how he stacks up. Look, this club pack Ronaldo stacks up here with this one. All right, lads, I have to go in a sec. So they're both goal poachers. Ronaldo on the right has got less attacking awareness, less ball control, better dribbling, less tight possession, better passing, same finishing, worse heading. Set piece taken, Ronaldo on the left is better. There's a comparison there, lads. But the acceleration is the big one on this Ronaldo card. And on top of that as well, he's got the booster, obviously, of shooting +2, and he's got phenomenal finishing. Gary Neville. Yeah, Gary Neville would be really decent. Jimmy Greaves, you're going back a good bit there now, Tara. Gary Neville would be fun, man. Ibra, big time. I really appreciate the way Konami gives us card. Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely one of the most like user-friendly, easy entry point, free-to-play games on the market, John, by a mile. I think so, Ivan. Yeah, I think so. I agree, DK. I would like to see some new legends, man. Zinchenko is good. Yeah, he is good. Yap, Stam, and Rio. Club Ronaldo came out before I started playing eFootball. Yeah, exactly, Pumpkin. That's why they brought out this new Showtime Ronaldo for anyone that missed out on that club pack Ronaldo. Gattuso is not in the database at the moment. Yeah, Tara. I mean, I would like to see old school cards. Like, one for me I'd love is like Paul McGrath. I'd love Paul McGrath. I'd love Roy Keane. I'd love a couple of the older players as well, like David Ginola. I know they're not old, but like those early ones, Ian Wright. Like, there's a lot of players they could go get, man. But anyway, listen, lads, I'm going to head, right? We got to go. We will be back for our big stream next, we're hoping Monday. Probably, maybe Sunday, but definitely Monday. It'll be either Sunday or Monday, depending on what I'm doing with some other stuff. But I hope this stream was good. I mean, literally crazy numbers for literally me talking with no gameplay. So appreciate it. Absolutely, yeah, mental. So we will be back. We'll have a few videos up later. Head on over to the Discord. We will do a couple of player reviews as well. I kind of ran out of time just talking about things. We'll do a couple of player reviews on the Discord as well. But hopefully it helped you out a little bit. I will do a specific video on speed versus acceleration because I know a lot of people are asking about that. And I feel like now there's a couple of things I haven't really got into in the stream because I didn't want to complicate it. But I will get into that in the video and go down on a deep dive, and I'll go position by position. You'll know when I do it. It'll be fairly thorough video because I've been literally working on it for the last 2 weeks. So yeah, it's going to be a big one. Speed versus acceleration based on different play styles, player ID, everything. So yeah. But anyway, lads, we are on the road to 40k, man. It's been, crazy support the last couple of weeks. We're on the road to 40k. And hopefully we will be able to, we're going to be doing a big end of 2023 video or like stream. But also on top of that, we are hoping to get to 40k. So I think we're at like 39,725 at the moment. So we're about 300 short or so. So if you haven't subscribed and this video helped you out or this stream helped you out or any of my videos helped you out at any stage, please do subscribe. Because I will be doing a subscribers only giveaway coming to the stream when we get to 40,000. So we're nearly there. And I'm also going to be doing a special one, a special stream for the end of year, end of 2023, because the channel is growing massively and we're really enjoying it, really having a bit of crack. So yeah, thanks to everybody for coming in. We will see you before the end of the new year. Sorry, lads, the messages are coming in all in like bulk. So I don't know what's happening. They're not like refreshing. But anyway, if I've missed any messages, hit me up on YouTube and I'll get back to you on any of the videos. So that is it, lads. I will talk to you later. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the stream if you did enjoy it. And if you want to be in for that giveaway, make sure you are subscribed. So that is it for me. I'll be back soon. Peace. Good luck.